All right, all right. Um, so before we touch on or discuss how is life after college, I think it's very, very important that we just slow it down just a tad bit. And, we discuss, how is life before college? How was life before college for me? How is life before college for you? How is life before college for you currently? Right? For some of you who are still going through that phase. I think it's extremely important to, in order for you to discuss the future, you also must discuss the present and also the past as well, to figure out, where you are or where you are, and where you want to be. I think when we think about life before college, I don't want to go too early, but early enough. So I tell you what, we'll start with the high school phase. Okay. During that high school phase, I don't think we as much think about the real world. I think we know that hey, it's approaching at some point in time, but a lot of us are still enjoying our youth. We enjoy our friendships, our friends. We enjoy being young. Some of us work, some of us don't work. But let's face it, some of the ones that do work, we're working to probably get a new pair of shoes and just to have a few bucks in our pockets and things like that. Some of us are doing clubs and things like that in school. Some of us do sports like football, basketball, track, cheerleading, you name it. Some of us are in clubs like the FBLA club, which is Future Business Leaders of America. You have some clubs like chess clubs. You have some clubs like um, maybe some high schools have like an NCAA, club, or you have different clubs, right? Um, and all those things are basically there to help mold us into the next phase. A lot of times, a lot of us aren't going to have a future in sports. Some of us will, but it's always something that you can learn from it and take away from that to take away your future and things like that. Some of us are getting into the phase of dating, right? Um, dating, other things as well, but dating. Um, some of us are trying to figure out what it is that we like, what we don't like, what kind of friends we want to tangle with, what kind of friends we don't want to be around. Some of us ain't got no friends. Some of us are going through different things like pregnancy, right? Either we have a child on the way or we have a child or whatever the case may be. We all have our own different challenges that we face during that high school phase. I think an important phase as well is that period between high school graduation and maybe college, or for some of us, it may not be college. It may be the decision on going into the military, right? Some of us may be going into our family's business. Some of us may be creating our own business. Some of us may be, I don't know. Normally, it's one of those two things. It's normally military, college, or maybe a nice job if we're lucky, or building our own business or something of that nature. Um, but of course, we're all not there, right? But we're working to get there. I know, I know. For me specifically, um, I really wanted to move out of my mom's house. Um, Around this time, honestly, it was really a very depressing time frame for me in my life. One, my mother and my stepfather, they were kind of going through a separation, and this is around my high school graduation time. Um, none of my family actually, and this I can honestly tell you all, and I still kind of probably hold on to this a little bit to this day. But it was a time during my high school graduation, and trust me, if you all haven't gone through this yet, be prepared for it. But during my high school graduation, I tell you all no lie, nobody in my family showed up outside of one of my brothers, my mother, my best friend, and at the time, the girl that I was dating. But those were the only people that actually showed up to my high school graduation and actually was there to show support, support me and things like that. But nobody else in my family showed up. And you know how when it comes down to graduation ceremonies, everyone has a certain amount of tickets. Then you could buy tickets from other people. Man, I was buying tickets from other people that was graduating to invite my entire family, and I did all of that for no reason, and it really left a huge stain on my heart a little bit. I'll be honest with you, and it it, it I'll just say this: it really bothered me. It really honestly did. Um, and again, to be honest with you, some of you all are going to face the same thing. So again, just be prepared for it. Man, I tell you guys, no lie, man, we come into this world alone, and you're gonna leave this world alone sometimes as well. So just kind of always had that mindset there. But yeah, I wanted to be on my own. I wanted to be away from my parents' house. I wanted to move out. Um, at the time when I was staying with my mom, of course, like I said, my stepfather, my mom, they were separated at this point. Um, living conditions that we stayed in, it was not good at all. I tell you guys no lie. We stayed in we moved to a trailer. My stepfather, my mom was together. It was in a small little country town, and at one point, you guys, we had no hot water. We had mice running in and out of the trailer. I'm not lying. I swear to God. Multiple at that. To the point where me and my brother, we would literally have to catch the mice on traps and have to after we catch them, we have to pick it up, take it out to the dumpster, whatever the case may be. We didn't really have much food or funds, anything like that. I think at the time, man, we both were struggling to try to get a job. Man, it's crazy. Around that time, it seemed like it was harder for someone that was, a teenager to get a job, unless you were working at like McDonald's, fast food joints. But for whatever reason, we we did not get those jobs. But it was just a very rough time that, at the time my stepfather had left us in that predicament. And so it really, you know, caused just a lot of pain and just things that I don't really want to go too much into. But, um, that phase there between your high school graduation and the period of time of either you going to the military or going to college is going to be a time where you're really going to learn a lot about yourself, how tough you are, how tough you can be, how resilient you are, um, how humble you are. A lot of things you're going to learn about yourself, and that's going to be an important piece there for you. Because a lot of times we don't know ourselves. Honestly, I said a lot of times, but most of the times, almost every time, we don't know ourselves, and we're still trying to figure out who we are and who we want to be. There may be a period where you may have to end up separating from your friends that you grew up with. Either because you may be moving to another city, another state, another destination. It could be because it might just be for the better good. Maybe you just, hey, I'm getting to this point in my life where I don't need no negativity. I don't need no drama or, anything that's going to slow me down from accomplishing my goals and my aspirations and things like that. So there is going to probably become a time period where you're going to have to make that decision to separate from the people that you grew up with. Honestly, for me, that's something that actually happened for me. Not because I wanted it to, but organically it did happen that way, where I kind of separated from a lot of people that I grew up with, except for maybe my best friend, who I still to this day we are the best of friends. But other than him, honestly, I, I I was separated a lot from the people that I grew up with. A lot of people that I went to high school with, middle school with, elementary school with. Um, And sometimes again, that's just life just blows that way sometimes. And that's totally fine. That's totally fine. But the key is again is you want to think about again who you want to be, what destination you want your life to turn out to be. Because again, honestly, man, friends that I went to middle school and high school with are some of them are no longer here to this day. Some of them passed away. Some of them didn't make the right decisions, and that is the reason why. Some of them are locked up, right? Um, so you really want to make sure that you're making the right decisions for your life, you know. And just again, just some things to kind of think about there. But again, comment down below, like, subscribe this video. You guys let me know down below in the comments, how was your life before college? How is your current life during college? What are some obstacles that you're facing or faced? What were some decisions that you had to make that may have been something that was hard at the time, but it was worth it? Or, what are some decisions that you guys are facing today that you feel like you're still trying to figure out? I would love to hear these things down below. So talk to you guys in the next video. In the next video, we'll discuss, how is life after college. All right, y'all.